So today I just want to walk you through one of my very favorite books in the world. It's the National Atlas of the United States of America, and hopefully you can tell from here how just massive it is. It's a really quite large book, and it's full of all kinds of beautiful data visualizations. It was produced by the Department of the Interior in 1970. And when it starts out, you will notice that it is mostly just like a road atlas. These were sort of reference books. This one was actually taken out of the library in California, but there's way more than just the kind of road atlas content. But we can start there. We've got the middle Atlantic states, we've got all the highways there, and you can kind of see them laid out. We've got the southeastern states, Florida, southern Mississippi Valley states. We've got this interesting sort of bump out outside the map area. I like that. And I can keep flipping through here, but I get more interested in it when it gets beyond the road atlas. So let's see if we can find some of that. Okay, here we go. Relief map. This is showing the relief map of the United States. The legend here is beautiful. So we've got the colors from lowest to highest, and it's also telling you how many feet that corresponds to, or meters. And then we've also got this drawing of what the mountains are going to look like when they are drawn out on the map. So you can see those mountain ranges and how that corresponds to the key. Physiography, land surface forms, just kind of beautiful colors here, really 70s. Oh, even larger version of the land surface form. This one's really getting into some data. So here's earthquakes, locations of earthquakes. A lot of them are happening in California. We've got some insets, and we've got the information about like the intensity, the time of occurrence, and then where the seismographic stations are located. So a lot of information on one map. Tectonic features, again, a lot of information here. If you look at the key, we've got, the colors, as well as the symbols. Geology, a lot of geologic features and different kinds of rocks. Coastal landforms, tides, saw that for a second. I really love the weather data, so, solar radiation, or we could go on to monthly sunshine. And this one is really nice because it's got small multiples arrayed around, so from January to December. But we also have small multiples in the center. So for each of these metropolitan areas like Duluth or Minneapolis, we have the monthly sunshine, the maximum, the mean, and the minimum. A really interesting visual form that's being arrayed there. We could look at precipitation, another nice small multiples, a bar chart there, dew point and humidity, monthly average temperature, and again, small multiples around, and then small multiples in the center. The monthly maximum temperature, and that's an interesting visual form. Minimum temperature, I love this. It's like dripping ice. And then, heating and cooling degree days, sort of showing you when you need to use cooling. And maybe I'll take a pause here and just show you something else that's cool about this map. So this is a static map, and if I was interested in the cooling degree days for a particular area from that time period, it would be hard for me to tell exactly what I was looking for. So what this map or atlas comes with is a number of overlays. I'm just going to pull those all out here and see if I can find the appropriate one for the small versions of the maps. There's quite a few overlays here. So I think I've got the right one. Now I just need to find my place again. So we're kind of in the weather data. Oh, there we go. The minimum temperatures, and now back to heating and cooling degree days. So I could lay this overlay over the map and line it up, and this would allow me to see the major statistical areas, the large metropolitan areas, like places in California. Or I could slide it up and I could use this overlay, which has more geographic features. So if I wanted to see where the Mississippi is running through, I could really see where that lies in the cooling degree days and look at the key. So this is just a really amazing way to make a more interactive map and show you information that would get too busy otherwise. Seasonal pressures and winds, floods and droughts, water use, Native American tribes. That one I think is really nice. We've got some historical things which I'm not as interested in. Election results. This is, I think, going from 1888 through 1968. And over here, oh no, actually it's going from 1796 through 1968. All of the elections and then the different political parties and how they changed over time. Historic sites, expeditions. And then we've got a lot of stuff about human land use. So farm size and type, you can see where farms are laid out, and acreage, farm ponds, if you wanted to see where those were located. Some nice choropleth maps. Again, we've got small multiples here, so we've got one pie chart for every state, but they're sized by the millions of dollars, and then the pie chart is showing you the commodity credit corporation loans and the categories there. So another interesting visual form that I don't see that much. You could look at where, vegetables and fruits are farmed, where major metals are, just a ton of information on this graph. So again, the sizes of those pie charts and then the colors, we've just got a ton of stuff here. And again, if I wanted to, I could go grab the overlay for this part of the United States. Let's see, put that one underneath. See if I can find the one for the western half of the US. And if I wanted to know something about these major metals in a particular area, I could overlay and then I could look at particular counties and see what was going on in that particular area. So again, this would be really busy on a map if you had all of those county lines showing all the time, but it really lets you get that context with the overlay if you need it. Organic fuels, food and kindred products. We end up with a lot of stuff about manufacturing and employment. Textile mills, paper and allied products, rubber and plastics. So a lot of stuff about production. I think we also have a retail trade, and again we've got some choropleth maps, and then we've got some more sized things. A lot of information again here with the sizes. Oh, just beautiful 70s colors. I love that color scheme. We've got the traffic flow, so we've got a flow diagram, back to highways and railroads, air flights, crude oil production, we've got pipelines, natural gas pipelines, telecasting, this has got all the TV stations. Oh, this is nice with the population. So we've got every state here, and then we've got a stacked bar chart that's showing us population characteristics. Another bunch of small multiples with different areas of the country. We can start looking at a population pyramid, so looking at age distributions. We can look at racial distributions, Native American populations, income categories, again, choropleth maps, again, 70s colors there, congressional districts, administrative areas. Ooh. This one is just beautiful colors where all the soil surveys have been done. And then the end of the map is, of course, or of the atlas is an index. So I'm just going to flip back to the front because I think that there's a lot of interesting information in the first couple pages. So, information about how it evolved. They did a test map in 1952. There's other countries that have similar atlases, so they're trying to compete. There's information about the ratio of the real area to the area on the map for each of the, large and small special subject maps. And then a bunch of specifications adopted for the maps. A simple Scotch rule in dark gray to bound the maps to improve the legibility of coordinate values. A medium gray tint on the map margin. A light gray tint over foreign land areas. Widely used symbols to facilitate reader recognition. And then a bunch of information about the fonts that were used. There's also information about the physical characteristics of the atlas. So they got bids for this binding, and they have information about the fiber content, the opacity, the weight, the bindings that needed to be frozen, baked, steamed, soaked, and tumbled, and not show the effects as soon. And then it has acknowledgments. So it says, it is not practical to name the scores of people who have had some significant part in planning or producing the atlas, but they have some of the names. And the map finishers who worked with such skill and dedication for the successful presentation of the atlas maps. And so I think that's one of the things that's really interesting about this book is that it was created before the widespread use of computer graphics. So like people were drawing these, and then they were finishing them so they could be reproduced in this book. So these are essentially handmade maps, and so I think that that's one of the things that makes this map so beautiful, is that it is basically pre-computer, but it is using technology to allow you to see tons of data and also to have this sort of interactive experience with these overlays. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing my very favorite book, The National Atlas.